So why do you need to have a mission statement? And why do you need to have it actually nailed down and figured out?
Well, as we've learned the hard way, right? When we started talking to clients, it didn't matter what avenue we took, whether it was marketing, whether it was systematization, whether it was talking about you know how to find and hire and keep the right people. We always had to go back to the beginning, and a great mission statement, and then what we've learned is connecting it to your guiding principles, your 2 or 3 guiding principles, and we all have them. When that is a great combination, you can conquer the world. There is nothing you can't do. And in fact, I don't want to say it's the only thing you need to do, but if you could only do one thing, you rewrite, you get rid of your
So yeah,
current mission statement, and you rewrite the mission statement in as almost as a story, and you connect it to your 2 or 3 guiding principles, and that there alone, it was there's 5 things that are going to happen when you have got a great mission statement. You're going to have employees, they're unified and aligned. You're going to increase the engagement of all of your stakeholders, both your internal and your external. It's going to help you to recruit and keep the superstar talent. The 20%ers that generate 80%, because a good mission statement story, and when it's connected to your guiding principles, is going to focus, it's going to show that to the world, and they're going to want to come to work for you. It's going to increase your productivity and your production capability, the goose and the golden egg, right? And it's going to improve your employee performance. So when you've got a good mission statement and it's connected to your 2 or 3 guiding principles, now everything else you need to do, from writing your unique marketing message to internally, running your business, everything is going to be focused on that. And right now, we both know, we've done this enough, right? You go into any business and you ask, heck, you could ask the owner, for God's sake, what's your mission statement? Nobody knows.
Well, no, yeah. I'm going to jump on something right now, because everybody's going to say, well, what the heck are you talking about, Larry? This mission statement, I've seen mission statements. And I poo-pooed this for a long time too, because I come from corporate world, that mission statement is this platitude-filled jargon, legalese. Nobody knows what it means. It's all a bunch of cute little sayings. We spent the day working on it, but then it just basically might have sit in the back of the cleaning closet is where it might as go, right? Like where all the supplies are. Nobody's ever going to look at it again, right? Yep. So what do you mean, like, when you're saying mission statement? Tell me. I don't know if we want to go through an good example, but what do you mean when you say get your mission statement written in a way that's going to connect with what you're actually trying to do?
Well, a good mission statement is empowering, right? Mm-hmm. It gives you direction and it gives inspiration. And Stephen Covey said it best. It addresses at least 3 key dimensions: profitability, quality of life, and all stakeholders. Now, you may get into more than that, but it has to address at least those 3 things. And when a good mission statement is something that is memorizable. You ought to be able to go around. In fact, we tell our clients when we're done, get a whole pocket full of $5 bills. And right now, before you even start, go out into your plant, go out into your workplace, and ask every employee, what is our mission statement? What are our guiding principles? And if somebody can tell you, you give them $5. I can guarantee you that first time you do it, you're coming back with every $5 bill you started out with. But at the end, when it's done, it's going to be memorizable. It's going to be repeatable. It's going to be inspirational. And it is going to guide you. It is going to guide every decision you make. And everybody's going to stop and say, is what we're doing right now, is it in alignment with our mission, with our purpose, with our guiding principles? If it isn't, then you have to stop. and say, why isn't it? And is this something that really is important? Or is this part of the 80%? A good mission and guiding principles story is all about 80-20. In fact, I'll say it's about the 1%, 50%. A good mission and guiding principles is maybe 1% of your story, but it's going to generate over half of all of your results. And that, in many cases, then you build from there. So without it, you're kind of floundering. You're kind of not quite sure what direction you're going. You know, you kind of feel like not everybody's in the same boat, not everybody's rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of have this politics in your business, but with a good mission and guiding principles, politics goes away because it also helps to eliminate bad stakeholders, whether those stakeholders are the wrong customers or they're the wrong employees, and it's going to attract the right ones. You know, the 1%, the 5%, or the going to the 80-20, the 20% that generate 80% of all of your results.
Yeah, I think the best examples are some of the clients we've had. I don't want to say their names or anything, but you know, you talked about we got into the marketing, we got into other stuff, and all of a sudden there'd be like a shiny object would pop up, and it would be like, hey, I think I can make money this way. And we would be like, where's this coming from? How come we're even talking about this? This is not the road we set down to go. And it was little shiny objects always pop up. And if you don't have that mission statement that you know, or you're clearly defined what you're trying to accomplish, you know, there's lots of ways to make money. My statement is you can also sell drugs. Doesn't mean you can make money selling drugs. It's great, I'm sure. But doesn't mean just because you can make money doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, it helps you to put the first things first.
Right.
Yeah, it helps you to focus. It helps you to, just as you said, it helps you to know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to, because that's the thing we found out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to say yes, right? It's hard to say no, because there are a lot of great ideas out there. There are a lot of shiny objects, a lot of shiny balls out there. We call it the shiny ball syndrome. And it's hard if you don't have that focus, if you don't have even a good mission statement, you know, connected to your guiding principles, it's hard to know what to say no to because it all sounds good.
Right.
And you know, it's like people that buy, you know, exercise bikes and exercise equipment. It looks good. And then where is it? It's sitting in the corner collecting dust. We've all got that crap, right?
Yeah, right.
It's the same thing in business. Business owners are by their nature entrepreneurial. They're always moving, but they're not always moving in the right direction or the same direction. They're just moving. You know, their ladder is against one wall one week and against a different wall another week and against a different wall another week. Well, my God, it's no wonder that we're struggling. We've just gone through a situation, right, with this COVID, this lockdown. And, you know, I just wrote something about this, but there's over 100,000 businesses have already shut the doors. So, hell, that's probably just in Wisconsin, maybe, I don't know. But there's the likelihood that 7.5 million small businesses are not going to reopen, or are not going to be able to function. Well, part of that is because, again, there was no clear-cut path for them. You know, it was easy back before this to make money. You know, we would walk into businesses and would walk away kind of shaking our head and say, I mean, they're making money in spite of themselves.
Yeah.
It was almost impossible not to make good money. This COVID should have given people a wake-up call. And, you know, coming back out of it, the strong are not only going to survive, they're going to thrive. Mm-hmm. But if you want to have a business, and this is kind of our catchphrases, and if you want to have a business that you could sell it tomorrow on the timeline, terms, and money that you want, then you have to build it as if you're going to sell it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Probably you'll never sell it, or I mean, everybody will eventually transition, but they don't have to sell it tomorrow. Well, when you build it that way, you know, now all of a sudden you've got a business that is worth owning. And that doesn't happen until you start from the beginning. The beginning is a good mission statement aligned to your 2 or 3 guiding principles. And we'll talk about guiding principles at another time.
Yeah.
Because people, I'm sure, don't quite get what guiding principles are. Yeah. But basically, it's the way that you make decisions. You've got guiding principles, and I've got my own guiding principles. Everybody's got them. And it's not that hard to do. I mean, and to do this is what, a good day's project, maybe a day and a half, depending on the business.
Right. And I think the problem, again, going back to what people most people think of a mission statement, and I have a couple examples I'm going to read of what a bad mission statement is. And this is what probably most people have in mind when they think of, oh, this is what a mission statement is. And if you were to look at this type of mission statement, you would say this means nothing. So I'll talk about one right here. This is from a big grocery store chain. I won't say the name. I don't want to embarrass them. To create a shopping experience that pleases our customers, a workplace that creates opportunities and a great working environment for our associates, and a business that achieves financial success. So there's all platitudes, all puffery, no mention of what they actually do. This could be for virtually any retail business. I mean, it's just so generic and plain that anybody could say this. So there's no meaning, there's no actual mission behind that. There's nothing memorable. No employee would ever know what that actually meant if you actually asked any questions about it. Do you have any insight into that, Larry? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it addresses some of the things that we talk about, a universal, a universal mission statement. But you're right. When I listened to it, if you hadn't said it was a grocery store chain, it could have been a dentist, it could have been a law firm, it could have been a manufacturing firm. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea where their market was. I had no idea who their market was. A good mission and guiding principle statement, is really written in kind of a story form that lays it all out there. That is easy. It's easy, first of all, for you and your employees to know who you are, what you do, where you're going.
So I have another example, and this is a big, I won't say their name again, book retailer. Our mission is to operate the best specialty retail business in America, regardless of the product we sell. So this was the beginning of their mission statement.
Amazon?
No mention of what they actually sell. They wanted to be generic enough that in case they wanted to switch to a different business completely, I guess, they wanted to leave it open in case they wanted to sell other widgets or something else.
This is probably the one thing that we have to make sure is right. Now, there may be that small percentage of small businesses who already have a very good mission statement and guiding principles, and every employee knows it, and it totally guides every decision they make. It clearly defines, what challenges the mission overcomes. What will the world look like when your mission is accomplished, and what will be won or lost when your mission is or is not accomplished. And it'll address characteristics that your employees need in order to accomplish your mission, and what actions need to be taken. And that's how clear your mission statement really has to be. It can't be like these two you just read. It can't be just platitudinal. It really does have to be clear. And if it is, when you think about it, when you've got those 4 or 5 components in your mission statement, that's what I mean. 80% of your job is done because it's very clear right there. And it doesn't have to be a story. It should only be, a few sentences at most. It takes time, but it can be done. And there are a lot of good ones out there, which maybe someday, we can research the really good ones and show people what they're like. What a good one, a really good or great one looks like. Again, I'll go back to Stephen Covey. He gave an example of what a universal mission statement to emulate. It's not the catch-all, but his was to improve the economic well-being and quality of life of all stakeholders. Now that sounds kind of platitudinal, and it is, because it's not meant to be a mission statement. Right. It's meant to be addressing profit, quality of life, and all your stakeholders. But who are your stakeholders? What does quality of life look like? Define it. What does the economic well-being look like? What does it look like for everybody involved? Because we all try to be fancy and cute.
Yeah.
That's what platitudes are about, right?
Yeah, right.
But fancy and cute doesn't get the job done, because the two mission statements you just read, no idea what kind of a business, where they are, who they are, what they do. And that's why the 80-20 rule is so important, of why we try to incorporate that into everything we do, is get people to realize, focus on the 20%, focus on the 20% that generates 80%, and shit can the 80% that generates 20%. You don't need it. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your resources. Get rid of it. And that's probably the more important thing of what a good mission and guiding principle statement does, is it tells you what to say no to.
Yeah.
You know, saying yes is easy. Saying no is so hard.
Right. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
All right.
Till next time.